See them all here. Scroll through them. All 15. We're using a lot of level 1s. We're using a lot of level 50s. I think the longest any takes is like 3 minutes or so. So, I mean, like, we're able to do 22 million with a level 100 Usha, a level 90 Rava, a level 80 Vicuc, and 2 level 1s. Like, it's very easy to get 15 teams for all these bosses. All right, so this is team number 1. We just have Oggok for the support. We have Gerthin for the damage. We have Eli just for Witch's Remains. So level 50 just in tank gear to survive and sufficient accuracy. And then we have 2 level 1s just to complete the affinity. We're using Eli's attack aura. In terms of timing, the only thing we care about is Eli to go first and then Gerthin to go after. They both are 19.5 second recharge, so we can do 19.5 second intervals. And that's all it is. All right, 22 million. Can stop there. Took 2 minutes, 41 seconds. Gerthin obviously doing all the damage. We can run through the gear here. Gerthin, Robotrix Roots, Emperor's Might, Defense Penalty, Mythic Gloves. Oggok, Solar King's Horn, Puppeteer set just to add some extra defense. And then again, Eli, just tanky because he's only level 50, so he survives. Enough accuracy, Witch's Remains. All right, so here's our second team. We got Usha as our damage dealer, Slingshot. The Robotrix roots would work as well. I don't know. I just built her with the Slingshot. Emperor's Might, defense penalty gloves. And then we have Rava as the enabler here. So she's also level 90 because I just needed like a little more damage out of her. Emperor's Might. I gave her the Wolfspine gloves because she was kind of having some survival issues because she's only level 90. Which just remains plenty of accuracy. And then Vicuc is our support, level 80. The Mona Lisa set for some extra healing. And then 2 level 1s. We're using Rava's crit damage, Aura. In terms of timings, both are 19.5 recast. And we just want to make sure Rava has enough time to land Frost and defense penalty with her ultimate. So we just have that gap. And then that's all we need. Vicuc can just cast whenever. All right, 22 million. We can stop there. Two minutes, 28 seconds. We should have did 72%, Rava 26%. And then obviously we're using level 1s. So, you know, if your Usha and Rava don't do quite as much, you can bring in actual other damage dealing heroes. Frost is preferred since we're running a Frost team here. All right, next team. So here we're running Bleddyn. He is our damage dealer. We got him Robotrix roots, Emperor's Might, defense penalty gloves. Frurbath is our support. Solar King's Horn to pump the damage. Some accuracy to land attack penalty. We have Lothair. He's wearing our level 50 survival gear with accuracy for Witch's Remains because he does have a multi-hit. Hits 3 times. And then we have Vidimir level 30 just for the aura, so we get the extra 24% attack. switch to that. In terms of timings, the only thing we have is just we want Lothair going before Bleddyn. Both are 19.5 second recast, so we have this at 19.5. And that's all this fight is. All right, 22 million. We can stop there. Took 2 minutes, 50 seconds. Bleddyn did all of our damage because he was the only one built for it. You could obviously bring in another damage dealer instead of a level 1. You know, the other two, Lothair and Vidimir, could actually be leveled up. Lothair could be anyone that like triple hits to be applying Witch's Remains. All right, here is our 4th cold team. So we have Drizzt as our main damage dealer. I put him in the slingshot so he can apply frost. He's got Emperor's Might set. He's got defense penalty mythic gloves. Vinyara is the main support. We gave her the Hourglass so she can spam her alt, spam her battle skill. Mona Lisa to add some healing. The skill haste gloves for extra attack. She has a ton of attack. Heksandra, I did not mean to level her to 100. I meant to level her to level 50. So she's not supposed to be level 100. I misclicked. But we gave her the Solar King's Horn for extra damage from healing. And then just a Puppeteer set with some defense to kind of keep people alive. Jijel is wearing our level 50 high defense accuracy set just so he survives, so he can apply Witch's Remains, because he does do a triple hit with his ult. We're using Drizzt's crit damage aura for timings. So we have Heksandra healing first because she has a slower Kingsword. We want to get those charges up, right? Because you gain a stack when she heals. Then immediately after we have Jijel. He does his Witch's Remains, and then immediately after we have Drizzt. He does his damage. Vinyara, I just have time to just like push the bosses all back. It's not crucially important, but you know you can kind of fiddle this to whatever works for you if you're running Vinyara, or you can just bring other supports entirely. You don't necessarily need to have Vinyara. And we have a level 1 doing nothing, just to fill the affinity. All right, 22 million. We can stop there. So that took 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Just doing most of the damage, 82%. Vinyara doing a little bit at 14. Again, you know, the level 1 could be whoever. The person applying Witch's Remains could obviously be someone who actually is doing damage. So there's a lot of options here to make this better. All right, so here's our first poison team. We are doing this on the cold boss because the dragon is just a pain to fight and not worth it. This is a Rook team. Rook obviously does crazy damage. You do need someone to provide some corrosion though, otherwise Rook does not as much damage. So you can pretty much bring any corrosion hero that you have that's just going to stack up some corrosion for Rook to play off of. We're using Voresh here for our Witch's Remains application. And then he's just wearing the Wolfspine gloves for extra healing for himself because he is tanking. Sifris is just a random support hero I threw in. She could be literally any other support hero. Just someone to help heal or anything. And then we got Rook. So I have him right now in the Arcane Music box, but no one really shields, so that's not really the best artifact. But it's good enough. So he's in Emperor's Might, defense penalty gloves, Sacradeia. She's in Emperor's Might, defense penalty gloves. She's got the organ. And then Gegnu. Originally, I had him be my Witch's Remains applier. That's why he's here. As it stands now, he's not really doing anything. So he could be like a level 1 on this team, and it'd be the exact same thing. So obviously that's another slot you could fill in with something more pertinent. And then we're using the attack aura. And then for timings, the only timing we have is Voresh goes first, then Sacradeia, then Rook. Just make sure we get our defense penalty, we get our corrosion added, and then we nuke. And 22 million, we can stop there. Okay, whopping 1 minute 33 seconds. Rook doing 71% of the damage, Sacradeia 17, Voresh 10%. If you don't have Rook, Sabrina is the replacement to Rook. So if you want any other corrosion hero that can actually do something with the corrosion stacks, the only replacement to Rook is Sabrina, which is a rare. So, and she does good damage. She would work here. Obviously, it would take longer than 1 minute and 33 seconds, but we would get there. All right, we have our second poison team here. I am also attacking the cold boss with them. Just because the dragon is a pain in the butt to actually fight, and it's just way easier to fight this boss. So this team is pretty simple. We just have Felosia, just doing Felosia things. And then we got Dargo applying Witch's Remains with Emperor's Might defense penalty set. We have Whisk, Emperor's Might defense penalty gloves. Sorry, not set, the gloves. And then the eyeball. And then in terms of timings, we just have Dargo going first. We have enough time to let his orbs hit, and then Whisk goes. The other 2 slots are just level 1 fillers. They don't do anything. We don't even have an aura, so we could bring in like some random level 30 to give an aura on the team. So that's another way to just add more damage to this team, but we just don't need it. Felosia obviously will make any team you put her on basically immortal, so. All right, 22 million. We can stop there. Three minutes, 12 seconds. We got Whisk doing 60%, Dargo doing 37. It probably would be more damage to actually have Dargo built for damage and Whisk built for Witch's Remains. I just happen to have them already geared for that way, so that's why I did it that way. You could also bring in Sabrina. She would instantly make this team do way more damage. To have someone to actually utilize the corrosion. And obviously there's no like actual healer. We're just getting shields. So you could bring in like, you know, any type of healer as well to improve the team's survivability if that's an issue. All right, so here is my first Necrosis team. We got Quaesitia. She's wearing Witcher's Remains, built very tanky, high resistance. So this boss on the passive deals, where's that? So you are constantly getting frosted, and every second you take damage, including the person who has it. This does a ton of damage. You absolutely do not want this on your tank. So without some sort of like reliable cleanser, debuff blocker, whatever the easiest way, just give resistance. So we built her with high resistance, good accuracy, Witch's Remains, still 3,000 defense, which is still good enough. And then for damage, we got Zadok, Robotchik's Roots, Emperor's Might, Defense Gloves. We got Zhar'loth with the Slingshot, Emperor's Might, Defense Penalty Gloves, but attack. So we gave him lots of attack. Then we got Eleuia. We gave her the Horseshoe, Emperor's Might, Defense Penalty Gloves. And then Daphne, we gave her the Pipe Organ, Emperor's Might. We gave her the Chaos Symbiosis Gloves. So the negative 50% recharge speed penalty does not affect Shadow Heroes. So these are the only heroes that can basically use these gloves. And it just gives more damage to their alt. She's not booked. She's basically a filler. You could replace her with someone better. I just had her built. She was already level 100 and whatever, so I just threw her in. And then we're using Zhar'loth's attack up aura. In terms of timings, we have Quaesitia going first, apply Witch's Remains, and then we just have Zhar'loth and Zadok going after that. Looks like we didn't have a recast on Zhar'loth, but he was 19.5 anyway. Now, if my Daphne was like reliable, we'd have her timed in there as well, but she can't reliably use her alt in sync with everyone else, so I just leave her on default. All right, 22 million. We can stop there. Two minutes even. And damage is pretty spread out with this team, so everyone's contributing pretty equally. Zadok's doing the most. Daphne second. Eleuia, then Zhar'loth. And Quaesitia had no issues surviving. Alright, this is our second Necrosis team. This one we have Questa tank. Exact same setup as our Quaesitia. So high resistance, enough accuracy or very close to it, which is remains, defense the tank. I don't really care about her damage, she's just our tank. We have Isitarian, Robotrix Roots, Emperor's Might, defense penalty gloves. We got Joyce with the Horseshoe, Emperor's Might, defense penalty gloves. We have a level 1 filler just to give us affinity. And then we just have Meggan, Solar King's Horn, Puppeteer set. She's sharing this with Questa. It's everyone who's around her. So all of these squares are affected by the Puppeteer set when the battle starts. And the Solar King's Horn just to pump damage. And then we're using Isitarian's attack aura. For timings, we just leave everyone on default. Just because Questa steals alt with her alts, right? So even though she's got the Witch Remains, kind of makes timing all over the place. So we just let people go whenever. We have pretty good uptime on Witch's Remains with Questa, so it's okay. Now, one thing I could have done is I could have brought in a level 1 that did summons, because I think there are a couple of like rares and stuff that just do some basic summons, and that would have boosted Isitarian's damage a bit. That'd be better than a random lightning archer guy. All right, 22 million, we can stop there. Two minutes, 5 seconds. Isitarian, 56%, Joyce, 37. Isitarian is definitely very viable after the buff patch. He's not that bad. As long as he can keep his dragon alive decently well, he'll do some decent damage. Joyce pairs well with him because Joyce always has like 3 clones up, right? So that's a lot of extra damage boosting on Isitarian's ult. And like I was saying, you know, I could have replaced this level 1 with another just random level 1 summoner who would at least throw out some like skeletons or something. That would have boosted Isitarian's ult even more. All right, here's our first fire team. So it's a pretty basic team. We have Flora, Queen's Fan, Emperor's Might, defense penalty gloves, attack percent. Just stack lots of enlightenment, lots of attack. Then we have 3 level 50 wildfire heroes just to boost her damage. We're using Thea, who does a triple hit. So she's wearing our tanky accuracy level 50 gear. So she's got enough accuracy, she's got HP, some defense, and she's wearing Witch's Remains. And then we just have Sonaro in here. He's got the Dispel chest, so he can dispel. I actually think I have a better chest. I got an attack percent version of it. It did. So you do need accuracy with this. That is why my Sonaro has accuracy. In order to dispel with this, you do need accuracy. Generally, Sonaro does not need accuracy. His passive, his attack penalty lands without accuracy, but you do need it for this effect. And then we just have the extra attack on the skill haste, Gatekeeper Staff to turn heals in the shields. Then we're just using Flora's attack aura. And then for timings, we just have Flora and Thea synced together, I think. Everyone else is kind of all over. Or I guess Netta is synced. Looks like Folly, though. Folly's not booked, so we have Folly on default. And then, actually, I guess I can show the timings. So we do use them. So we have Sonaro at 12 seconds, every 18. So that will have his heal pop at 17 seconds, 1 second before the boss's ult. So that is important. And like I was saying, Flora goes first, then Thea immediately after to put up defense penalty, and then Netta just to hit it with her ult for quick damage. Seeing those big 257,000 ticks from Flora's ult. And that's just with the Queen's fan. So you can see Sonaro dispelling the buffs there with his battle skill, which is very useful. This boss takes a lot less damage when he has buffs and deals more damage when he has buffs. So it's very important to try to control the buffs on the boss in this fight. Using anyone with buff prohibition or dispel is recommended. But you can use someone like Sonaro, try to min-max. Alright, 22 million, we can stop there. Obviously Flora is just doing all the damage with this comp. So Sonaro did 9%, alright. He did a little bit. Alright, here's our second fire team. And it's just a burn team. We just have Beegs applying all the burns. He's got Witch's Remains for defense penalty. We're also using him to dispel. He's got the chest. Then we have a Cetius Slingshot, Emperor's Might, defense penalty gloves, just does disgusting damage. 2 level 1s just to fill the affinity, and then we just have Elminster for some survival, because the boss does do a little bit of damage. So we're getting the attack penalty, we're getting the shields, and we're just using Cetius's attack aura. That was a 2.6 million hit from Cetius's ult there. Only with just Beegs. It's crazy. All right, 22 million. Can stop there. Two minutes, 11 seconds. That's just doing 92% of the damage. The other thing I forgot to mention is I do have Beegs in a Mona Lisa set. So he does a little bit of healing since we don't have any other healing otherwise. I don't think we really need it because I don't think anyone's going to die within 2 minutes, but it is nice to have just a little bit of healing. All right, here's our third fire team. This is a Toddlin team, basically. We got Toddlin, Ravachik's Roots, Emperor's Might, Defense Penalty Gloves. We got Garrica in here with the Dispel Chest, Witch's Remains, Emperor's Might. So she's built for a little bit of damage, enough accuracy. She's landing all her stuff. She's preventing the boss from having buffs. Adolphus just here for support, keep people alive. Alfie is just a random wildfire just to give Tonalyn a little extra procs on her passive. Each successful wild by allies grants her a stack. And then Erisy is just naked level 30 for the crit damage aura. In terms of timings, it's all default. All right, 22 million. We can stop there. Tonalyn doing 73. And then Garrica 20, which is not bad for Garrica. 2 minutes, 26 seconds. All right, here is our fourth fire team. It is another wildfire team. This time we're pairing Felicity and Eric. We got Ardris, Lord King's Horn, just to amp up some damage. Puppeteer set to share some defense. Healing chest, boost healing. We got Eric with Witch's Remains, Emperor's Might set, defense penalty gloves. We built them for as much damage as we could while having enough accuracy. Felicity, she's got basically max crit rates, good crit damage, good attack, and then Emperor's Might set, defense penalty gloves. We got Dane, he's in charge of handling the boss's buffs with his Dispel. Just gave him skill haste, Emperor's Might, and then backup Dispel, so when he applies a buff, he can Dispel in case this one fails. And then Phasa really is not here for anything other than just a stat stick. So I just built her with pure attack, pipe organ. She does nothing else. Then we're bringing in Felicity's crit damage aura. For timings, the only thing I really care about is Eric going, find that Witch's Remains. Then Dane goes to dispel any buffs, and then Felicity goes. You want to make sure there's at least 2 seconds between Eric and Felicity, because this takes 2 seconds to hit all 5 meteors. All right, 22 million. We can stop there. One minute, 39 seconds. A lot of damage between these two. Pretty much have all our bases covered with this team. Let's see, doing 51%, Eric 30, Dane 13. Alright, so here's my first Dauntless team. So we are tanking with Ghoul. The reason for that is because he can heal himself. And then we just built him for high attack, some damage. He's not going to do much damage because it's the wrong boss. But at least with the pipe organ, he's sharing his attack with Theravel. For Theravel, we pair these two together. That way the boss is going to AoE these two, which is what I want. And then we give him a ton of crit. He converts crit into basically triple hitting with his alt. And being over 100% actually helps with that. And then I have him with Witch's Remains. And then we put him in Aerial Battle Roar for extra crit. Most of our damage, though, is going to come from Nastjenka. So she's wearing the Horseshoe. Get that extra attack speed, crit damage, Emperor's Might. I had to put her in crit rate gloves to give her enough crit. She just has a little bit too much, probably. But that's just kind of how I had to balance the stats. And then these two are just level 1s just to fill the affinity. We do get Vani's buff, though. Well, we get the attack speed up one. If she was 2-star, we get attack speed 2. I guess we can 2-star her. Alright. Now she's got the better version of that. And then we're using Nastjenka's skill for timings. We just have Theraval going at 9 seconds, Nastjenka at 10, and then we sync them with the same recast interval. And that's it. It's a pretty basic team. So you see how everyone is spread out. These guys back here are safe. They will take 0 damage the whole fight. Melee is safe. They will take 0 damage the whole fight. All the damage is going to be over here. It's going to be Ghoul and it's going to be Theraval. I mean, you can just see how much damage we're doing just with this basic team. Ghoul can cleanse every once in a while. Get rid of all the debuffs. And 22 million already. I think this is our fastest team. 1 minute, 15 seconds. We got a third of the damage coming from Nastjenka, quarter from Theraval, and the rest from Ghoul. But yeah, so that's kind of the main setup for how I've done this boss, and it works really well. I do the same thing with my second team too. Alright, here's our second Dauntless team. You can see it's also very basic. Same strategy though. This time we have Nathaniel tanking. So he's in the Protector set, mitigating damage off of Nimbus in the healing chest, and then we gave him the Hourglass so he can spam his battle skill more. And then Nimbus, he's got the highest attack of the team, so he's going to attract the boss's passive. Ravatrix Roots, we give him attack speed for his ults because Shalter's the damage dealer here, not Nimbus. And then the Wolfspine Gloves, this is really important. Not so much just to hit 22 million, but just in general, when I was running this team, he was on my main team for the Continental Challenge part of the season. And the Wolfspine Gloves let him live for the whole 5 minutes. So these gloves are really good. Then we just got Shalter. He's our main damage dealer. Built for high enlightenment. He should be an Emperor's Might. I guess I just have him in old gear. Emperor's Might would be better, though. He would do more damage in Emperor's Might. He's got attack percent gloves. The eyeball works really well on him. It does amplify his ult. Just a level 1 Dauntless dude. And then Shalter, he's our Witches Remains person. He's not booked though, so he's slow. So the timing gets off. And yeah, so these three will take 0 damage. All the damage is going to be Nimbus and Nathaniel. And then we use Shagrol's attack speed aura. For timings, we have so we got Nathaniel and Shelter going at the same time. The reason we have Nathaniel go is because he's doing defense up, and when Nimbus gets a buff, he gains attack speed. So as soon as Nathaniel buffs, Nimbus gains attack speed for 10 seconds. So that syncs really well with Shelter's ult. You get more damage in, because then Nimbus does his ult, and he's got more attack speed. So he does more damage with that. It looks like I actually gave it to the wrong flying dwarf. That's funny. There we go. It's like, wait, this isn't Nimbus's skill. And then if Shagor were booked, we'd have him synced better, but he's not booked, so. You see the boss, he's shooting Nathaniel down here. All right, and there's 22 million. We can stop there. So 237. Shelter's doing most of the damage. Nimbus the rest. Now, as I was saying, we could make this way better. Shelter should be an Emperor's Might. That'll amplify the damage. Or sorry, yeah, Shelter. Shaggle's not booked, so we could have someone else carry the Witch's Remains part. Probably could have just had this guy's like Altair, whatever this guy's name is. I think he does a triple hit on his ult. So we could have given it to him and booked him because he's a rare, so that would have increased our damage, made this run faster. So a lot of room for improvement, even hitting the mark within 2.5 minutes. So pretty easy. All right, this is our final team, our Radiant Rally team. So we got Garius tanking, protection set, gatekeeper staff. We have Tathlin with the puppeteer set, and then he's wearing the the stun set to bounce the stun back. He's got Witch's Remains, Lorenthal, Mana Core Statue, Emperor's Might, Defense Penalty Gloves. So we do have him built for damage. He does okay damage. We got Huberg, Emperor's Might, Defense Gloves. I have him in the King Flute. I've had really low crit rate, so that helps with that. And then Hedgeo, we got him with the Music Box, Emperor's Might, Defense Penalty Gloves. And we're using Lorenthal's crit damage aura in terms of timings. We have everyone at 20 seconds. Now the reason I do this is because the boss is actually 20 seconds. And when he does this skill at the 20-second mark, he gains defense up for 10 seconds. So that wears off here. I'm not bringing a Dispeller or buff blocker or anything. So I need that defense penalty or that defense up to wear off. And then the second thing is if you resist the stun, which we will every time because we have Tathlin in the stun chest, the boss takes 20% damage for 10 seconds when this happens. So that leaves the 10 to 15 second mark is where you want to do all of your damage. Now, with Lorenthal, we can ult every 15 seconds or so, but then we'll be outside of that prime damage dealing window, and it's not good. It's not worth it. The secondary part of that is every time Tathlin blocks a stun, he's losing his ultimate energy. So he wouldn't be able to keep up with the 15 seconds. So that's why we have everyone on a 20-second interval. Now, an interesting thing with this stun chest, the ult reduction as it is right now is actually based on the hero's accuracy who's wearing it. So if Tathlin had 0 accuracy and resistance, let's say 150, 200 resistance, you can actually resist this part of the chest piece. It's based off of the hero wearing its accuracy, not the boss. I don't know if that's intended or not, but that's how it works right now. But since he wears our Witch's Remains, we give him accuracy, so he's not going to resist it. Hedgeo actually does a ton of damage on this boss here. I was very surprised by how much damage he can push out. And then the only other part was Garius. We had him ulting right before this hits. And then the shield carries through the boss's ultimate, which is where all the damage is kind of concentrated. And 22 million already. We had Huberg doing 47, Hedgeo 33, Lorenthal 14, took 1 minute, 6 seconds. And see them all here. Scroll through them. All 15. We're using a lot of level 1s. We're using a lot of level 50s. I think the longest any takes is like 3 minutes or so. So, I mean, like we're able to do 22 million with a level 100 Usha, a level 90 Rava, a level 80 Vicuc, and 2 level 1s. Like, it's very easy to get 15 teams for all these bosses.